guys, and welcome to Rufus and Doofus. Chico here today, and I was telling you that I had a little surprise kind of secret thing that I was telling you all about. And the way it happened was one of my subscribers had made contact with me and heard that I was anticipating or wanting to put solar panels in. And I was in Ingram, Texas at the time, and I had already driven by him by 136 miles. And he made me an offer I couldn't refuse. He said that he had a place that we could do the solar panel install, and that he had all kinds of tools, and that we could do this here at his place. And in the meantime, I could kill two birds with one stone, because if I was headed to quartzsite, as I was that day, when I got there, it would be way too hot. So I told him, I says, you know, that'd be awesome. I says, but right now, you know, my finances are a little tight. And he says, don't worry about it. He says, you come here, you can stay, hook up your RV, won't cost you anything, and you can use that money to put your panels on. Well, you know, that was it. I says, well, his name is Harley. And I said, Harley, I'm going to turn this vehicle around tomorrow morning, and I'm going to head back to Gonzales, Texas, and I'm going to take you up on your offer. And it actually worked out really, really, really well, because you guys know I had that problem with my gas tank. And we decided we were going to address that too, and we were going to address that first. And I do have videos of us removing the gas tank and flushing out all the crap that I picked up in Lafayette, Louisiana. And that job went very well, and I'm going to be editing up that video shortly to put up. But first, I want to do the videos that I had from Ingram and such. So there's going to be quite a few, so stay tuned. There's going to be a lot of good videos coming up. But you can imagine that between the change of plans, very unexpected change of plans, Rufus getting hurt, and the trip to the vet and all that, and having to deal with Rufus, and my legs not being so great, and Harley's back not being so great, takes a little more time than it would take two young guys to do it. Now notice I said two young guys. I didn't say anything about being handsome and being older like us two old guys. But hey, we were a little slow doing everything, but we got it done, and those videos will show up. But I wanted to do an unpacking of the solar 200 watt, the premium kit from Renogy. And I've got two panels here, and this box has all the other goodies, and I've been dying to open it and look at it, so we're going to do that today with you. So the box is open, and what's in here? Let me put this where it's out of the way. Okay, first thing on top of the box here is some wires. There's two wires, and these plug into the solar panel plugs. Now there's two plugs to each panel, and I have two panels, so that means there's four plugs up there. I half expected to see an adapter which would have brought those panels in parallel 12 volts down to the controller, but apparently they didn't give me any little adapter, so I think they want me to hook it up to 24 volts, because the solar controller will work well with the 24 volts or 12 volts. 24 volts coming off the panel is going to be a little bit more efficient. The higher the voltage, you know, we can do a longer run. We're not going to do a very long run, but I believe they've given me 20 foot here. And I was looking over the instructions online, because don't expect to see any instructions in the box. Now, one thing I just want to point out before I get into this too much is there seems to be an error in the manual online, and then I checked, and every manual has the same printing on it, and multiple times, unless I'm crazy. But for years, I always thought that something that looked like that plug right there would be the male plug, because that goes into the other socket, and that would be the female plug. Well, in the manual, they have it reversed. They're telling me that this is the female plug. Doesn't look like it, unless females are built different in China. and this is the male plug. I don't think so. But the reason I want to say that is because there's a polarity associated with the male-female. And this one here has a red little grommet on it. I think you can see it there. So I'm going to assume, rightfully so, I think, because even in the manual it shows this plug here as the positive plug. So they have that part of it right, positive, with the picture. But I think they just made a mistake, and like I say, the gals are built a little differently, and you know, that transgender stuff might have taken effect over there. But in any case, to me, that's the male, so I just wanted to point that out. So that came there. There's 2 of those. 4 connectors total on the panels, 2 on each panel, negative, positive. So we're going to be taking and hooking the panels in series, which is going to turn it into a 24-volt solar array going to the controller. I hope that I explained that correctly. These cables here are called tray cables, and for the batteries. Let me regress one moment. Just want to let you know that you have to mark these cables on the other end. There is no indication as to whether they're negative or positive. I'm surprised that they didn't ship it with a little red tag here or something on the wire, or did something, but they didn't. Same holds true for these. These are battery cables, and there's 2 sets, obviously, actually 1 set, and neither of them are marked, you know, so that you can differentiate between the positive and negative. So you're going to have to be careful when you install them, okay? On these, you want to be as close as you possibly can to your controller, to the batteries, all right? So the less distance you have to go from the controller to the batteries, the more efficient your system will be, because the longer this run, the more we lose. This wire here, this red wire, at least it's red, is to connect our fuse, which we'll be showing shortly. But this will go on a positive terminal. A fuse in line will be on this terminal here, and then it will connect to the other side on here. Same, we got to make sure that we run that to the positive, and there will be an inline fuse. Let me show you what that looks like. Pretty nice little gadget. This is it right here. This is your inline fuse, and it opens up, and inside of it is actually a replaceable fuse, and I believe it's going to be a 40 amp fuse if the manual is correct. So you just squeeze that a little bit, and this fuse right now is loose in here. We're going to have to tighten it up, obviously, and it says it's a 20 amp fuse, so they gave me a 20 amp fuse. If there's a draw that's more than 20, it's going to pop. I thought it was going to be a 40 amp fuse, but apparently not. So they gave us a 20 amp fuse, okay, and we put that in this fuse holder, and that's to protect our system, the battery, and also the charge controller, more so the charge controller, I would think, because the batteries can handle quite a bit of draw before anything happens. So hopefully that'll work. And then we would tighten that up so it's a replaceable fuse. Goes right in there. This cable would go in there. Bingo. Nice, protected from the weather and such. So that comes with it. And then we have another fuse. And this fuse is going to connect our panels to our panels and protect them. And it's a 10 amp, okay? And this fuse is going to go on the other end of these, between here and the panel, and it's going to protect our panel. So this would plug into here. As you can see, this also has a positive, a red thing on it, which I'm going to assume is positive. All I know is that from the picture, it's correct, positive, but I still think, to me, that looks like a male connector right there, not a female. And that's going to go on there and protect our solar panel. So wires, fuses, wires. All right, we went through that. Then the next thing in our little bag of goodies here are the Z brackets. I'm going to be mounting my panels flat. I know you guys are going to say, well, you know, you don't take advantage of the full angle of this and that and the other thing. I know, you're 100% right. the panels will function about 20% better if you tilt the panels into the sun. I'm going to tell you something though. A lot of people that have the tilting mounts, I've discovered, don't bother going up and tilting them because it's a pain. It is a pain. I don't care how nice you make the system, unless you can push a button in your rig and have it go up and down. It's a pain. I personally don't have very good legs. I don't feel like climbing up that ladder to change the panel orientation or put them down if I have to go dump my tanks or whatever I have to do when I'm boondocking. Whenever you move the rig, you can't drive with your panels tilted. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay with flat panels. I think that'll be something I won't forget because I can pull away and I'll have flat panels and I don't have to worry about them blowing off. And these are called Z brackets, and the panels are pre-drilled for these brackets. Now, I know I'm being a little long-winded here, but these are all things I think I'd like to know if I was ordering this system. But this is your panels, and this is a Z bracket right here that they're talking about. This part mounts right in onto the solar panel. There's 4 of them per solar panel. And what this is going to do is keep them suspended about an inch above the roof. So you're going to have air circulation under there. Things, you know, accumulate under there. Well, hopefully the air will move them out, okay? But they want airspace under there. This part goes to the roof. Very nice little bracket. And then they've given us some hardware to connect the panel to the bracket, and also some hardware to connect the panel to the roof. I will tell you that in the instructions, or whatever you want to call them, the manual that they have online, on an RV roof, these will not work, or they tell us that we shouldn't use these, and they recommend a fastener that you drill a hole into the roof a little bit, you put the fastener in there, you put your sealant on it, and then you put the bracket down and you run a number, I believe it's a 1032 screw, thread size, into that little holder that goes into the roof. It's actually a fastener. And when the screw goes in, it expands the fastener so that it won't give way under stress. That little fastener supposedly is available at Home Depot. I found out that it's not, at least not in any quantity, and they couldn't even order it for me. However, in the instructions, they have another source, and that source I got online. They're on their way to me now. They're little black fasteners about that with a brass insert, I believe, and as the screw goes in, it's going to expand, and they're saying it's made for a material that's 3/8 inches thick, which is the stuff they usually make the roofs out of on the RVs. So your RV may be different, but I think most of them are going to be like that. So that's your brackets. There's 2 boxes of those, and I've got 2 packages of 10 of those black fasteners coming. So that's 20. I'll have 4 extra so that I know when I drop 4 on the ground, because that's what's going to happen. They're going to roll off the roof and go on the ground. Always does. I don't know why, but that's what happens to me. So I'll have enough to finish the job, and then I can come down and pick up the ones I dropped and give them away as a present or something. Okay, so now I also have with this kit the MT50 tracer meter, and this meter can be mounted either flush. It gives you the option, and this is kind of like a remote control for the charge controller, and you can see that you can use a hole saw to drill the hole in your wall or whatever, if it'll fit, or you can use this mounting thing, and what that will do is it will allow for mounting on the wall without doing any drilling. I may take that option, I don't know, we'll see. And it connects via a cable, just like almost like a Ethernet cable, but I don't believe it is. And they only give you 6.5 feet of it, so if you have to make your remote run further than that, you may want to get a longer cable. They do give you an option of that, and I missed that option when I ordered mine. So I don't know if this is going to be enough for my application or not. And this also comes with all the fasteners necessary and such, all right? So again, if I'm long-winded, I'm sorry guys. I just want to try and cover all the bases because these are all things that I would have loved to have known. And I really didn't see anything on it. So this again is for the premium kit, and this is a 200-watt kit. Now, in here, we have our solar controller and battery controller, solar controller, whatever. And this is the Commander series, excuse me, Commander series. The kit comes with a 20 amp. I upgraded to the 40 if I ever want to upgrade the system to more panels. I'm just going to touch on that briefly. The 20 amp system will allow you to upgrade to 400 watts maximum, okay? And the 40 watt controller will allow you to upgrade to 800 watts maximum at 24 volts. So the other one is 400 at 24 volts, and this one is 800 at 24 volts. So that's what I got, and this is the upgraded controller. This replaces the other one that they had. Pretty hefty little gadget, not cheap. And this is what it looked like. Might as well take it out and show you guys. Okay, and this is it. I gotta tell you, that's hefty, probably about 10 pounds, you know. And they want this mounted vertically, so I guess that would be it, or on a vertical wall. I suppose you can mount it on the side, but they want it mounted on a vertical wall. I haven't really decided where to put it yet. And this is your inputs for your panels, your battery, and an optional load, which I probably won't use, but it will give you that ability. And this is a really high-end controller, okay? And this will, as I said, handle 800 watts at 24 volts. So you just put your wires in here after you've bared the insulation off, and then there's some screws in here that you tighten down, and that's how you make your connection. Now, obviously, it's not going to look too pretty if you got wires running up your wall inside the RV. It's just not going to look nice unless you mount it real close to the floor, and that's not recommended because they want it where the environment is a good environment, clean, dry, like that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and mount this real close to the batteries down in one of the compartments up against the wall of the compartment like that. And that way I'll have access to my wires. It'll be in a dry environment, and we'll make all our connections down there. And I really don't need to see anything on there. It just has two buttons on it that you push, and that's it. So it's not as really nothing to do there. There's not even a display or anything. The other thing, the MT50, is the remote that plugs into this. Just plugs right in like a telephone wire, and that will in turn let me do everything I need to do inside of the RV. Control this, monitor this, the whole 9 yards. So that's it. That's the unboxing of my solar panels. You guys probably want to see the panels. I mean, what can I tell you? They look like solar panels. So let me get this out of the way. I can see I'm going to have to edit this part out. Okay. Here is our panels. Boxed up pretty well. And this is the back side of the panel. And I purposely wanted to show you the back side because the front side is just solar cells, okay? And you can see a picture of that anywhere. But here's those connectors we were talking about, okay? And they're marked here with some tags as to what's plus and minus. And I think if you look, this is the plus side right here, and here's that connector that they're calling a female, and that to me is the male connector. So for you guys that know male from females, just be sure that you know that's the positive side. All right, just a little misprint. So that's the panel, and these are the new high efficiency panels. They're smaller size, so they take up less footprint, and they're more efficient. So that's it. We'll be going through the install. I'm going to make this part 1 of the video, just the unboxing, And then we'll go through the install as we put in the controller, our wiring, and eventually fasten the panels to the roof and go live. So we'll have a start to finish job here, okay? I hope you enjoyed the video so far. Please let me know if you have any questions. I'll do my best to respond. And don't forget to subscribe. You guys take care and be happy. I'm really happy. I got solar power coming. I'm gonna be happy. Oh, yes, indeed. When I go to quartzsite, I'll be able to watch my TV. All right, guys. Bye-bye.